We'll guide you through how to use an iPad as a second screen or monitor for a Mac. If you find this useful, then consider subscribing and liking the video. We're using a MacBook Pro for this, but you can use different Macs. We're covering that in a moment. So this is really convenient to be able to do because then it goes and gives you more screen space for your Mac. Often you're going to be traveling or something like that, and it's quite common you're going to go and have an iPad with you, and so we can go and utilize this with our Mac and go and use them together. So make sure this full guide and don't skip anything because we're covering important steps throughout this whole video and useful information. So for example, you can have a YouTube video playing on there, a different website, a Word document, it doesn't matter. We're going to guide you through this step by step. So any further ado, let's get into this. So we want to go through the requirements first of all. So I'm just going to go and open up Safari here as we've got the requirements open here. So what we're using is called Sidecar. So we're going to guide you through this document. It's really useful by Apple. We'll try and put a link down below and you can go and check that out as well. Otherwise, just go and search for Sidecar system requirements and you can go and find it. So first of all, we need to be running Mac OS Catalina or later. And we're going to need to be using MacBook Pro introduced in 2016 or later, a MacBook introduced in 2016 or later, a MacBook Air introduced in 2018 or later, an iMac introduced in 2017 or later, or an iMac Retina 5K 27-inch in late 2015. An iMac Pro, a Mac Mini introduced in 2018 or later, Mac Pro introduced in 2019 or later, a Mac Studio introduced in 2022 or later. To go and check what your Mac is, what you need to do is go to the top left and you can press the Apple icon in your Mac and you can press About This Mac. Let me just go and blur out the private info here, but you can go and see I've got a MacBook Pro released in 2021. So that therefore means this is going to go and be fine. And also if you look at the bottom, you can go and see the Mac OS, which is Tahoe. So that's going to be fine as well. So now that we've met the requirements for the Mac, we can go and check the iPad. So it needs to be running iPad OS 13 or later. And when it comes to the actual model itself here, it's the iPad Pro All Models, the iPad 6th generation or later, the iPad Mini 5th generation or later, the iPad Air 3rd generation or later. So if we come onto the iPad here, you can go and find the settings just on the home page here. Come to the left and press General, and you can press About. Now we can go and see here, if we go and look at the iPad OS version, it's 26.2. The model name is iPad A16. This is the iPad 11th generation though. So you can go and check that, but this is the iPad 11th generation, so it's going to go and be fine, and it's going to go and work. It's important that the Mac and the iPad are using the same Apple ID account as well. So to go and check this on the Mac, you need to go down, and you can go and open up System Settings. Then at the top here, you'll go and see the Apple account we can click on, and you'll go and see the name and email. The email is going to be the main identification here. And then on an iPad, you can do the same thing, open up Settings, scroll right to the top, and you want to go and find the Apple account, and you can go and see that email is the same. If one of them is different, you'll need to go and make sure you go and sign in. So for example, you can go and scroll down here and go and press sign out. There are restrictions set. This is in screen time. So if I go and come down here and press change screen time passcode, I can just go and turn it off for the example of this video. So that will now be turned off. It will say lock. I can return here and scroll down, and as you can see, I can now go and sign out. If you want to do this on a Mac, you can scroll down here and press sign out as well. And then you can make sure you're signed into the same Apple ID account. Most likely you already will be. And so make sure you're signed in. Next, you want to make sure that both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are turned on both devices. So to check that on an iPad, you can come into settings already here, find Wi-Fi, it's turned on, and you can go and find Bluetooth, both turned on. So you can tap there, see it's on, and Wi-Fi is turned on as well. Next, what you want to do is do the same thing on a Mac. Make sure Wi-Fi is turned on, you can see it's switched on, and Bluetooth is also turned on as well. And we're connected to the same network. Now that we've done that, next, the iPad and Mac need to be within 10 meters of each other. So make sure they are, because they're right next to each other, so that's definitely correct. So now everything's met. What we're gonna do is just go and have the iPad unlocked as it is there on the home screen, just to make things obvious. And you want to go to the top right of the Mac and go and find this icon here. Just like this, it's got some lines and sort of symbols on them. Click on it and it will open up the control center. And you want to then go and find this option here. It looks like displays, and you want to go and click on it. you can go and see here, we're getting the option for mirror or extend to Rob's iPad, aka this iPad here. So what we're going to do is go and click on it and just go on wait. You can go and see it's now successfully there. So we're using this as an extended display. You could go and mirror, but in this case, we're using extended display. You can go and hide the sidecar or hide the touch bar as well. That's gonna be up to you. So now, just to go and give you a bit of context of how it works, I could go and open up my settings again. Then you can go and see here, I can go and drag it across. Now, if it isn't quite working right, don't worry. Go and open up your settings. Then on the left, you can go and scroll down and go and find displays, and you can go and see them here. So at the moment, they're actually ordered incorrectly, as this is basically saying the iPad's to the left, but it's to the right. If I go and click, we can come down here and go and press arrange. And here is the iPad. So what I can do is click, hold, and drag it over like so. And you can go and roughly align it so it's more like at the bottom, as you can see. Then you can go and press done, and that will update there. And there are some different options here as well. You can use as the mirror, the main display, or extended. We're going to have extended. So now when I drag this over, you can go and see it then goes and moves over like so. It's that simple. And then of course I can go and have another app open here, whether that's a document or whatever I want. Of course, this is just an example. But you can also go and drag your cursor over here as well. And yeah, really convenient. And it's got so many different uses, as I said. And you've got some different options here as well, which you can go and use. So that is it. That is how you can go and use an iPad as a second screen or monitor for your Mac. If you found this useful, then consider subscribing and liking the video. I look forward to helping you again in the future with more guides like this. We post them every single day, so I'm sure we'll be able to go and help you again in the future with another how-to. If you have any suggestions, feel free to put them down below, and I look forward to going and checking them out. Have a great day. Goodbye for now.